Hi, I'm Joe Scott, and I am a homeschool mom that used to be a public school teacher. Thanks for joining us here at School at Home. We really just want it to be a resource that is available during this time where everybody is schooling at home. Just talk about how to set up your school at home, how to help your students to be most successful, and how to maintain your own sanity in the midst of all of this change. My friend Rebecca here is going to help me. Rebecca?
Hello.
Hi. And so we have both been homeschooling for, this is my second year, and we both taught in public school. So we have a host of experience to draw from and hope we can answer any questions that you have about this time. And yeah, let's get going.
All right.
So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is how to set up school at home. I posted some pictures earlier today that showed a couple of different scenarios that families had done. And one of them was at the kitchen table, and they had 4 laptops set up and some baskets in the middle. And it was really simple. Like this is where it is. Everybody has their own little spot and they can work together. And that is how simple it can be to set up a workspace. Everybody has their own designated area. They can pick it up. They can move it back to where it's not on the dining room table, and they can keep going from there. Noted. So, sorry, real life does call, still a mama. But other examples showed one family, it looked like they cleared out a closet and they built shelves or used the shelves in the closet and put a little desk in the closet. And that was the child's study carrel. More power to you. If you want to get elaborate with your area, please do it. If you're going to be arts and crafts and have these beautiful setups, go for it. And there are loads of examples on the Pinterest board that I put on there. But the best thing to remember about setting up a space for your child or children to work is remember, make it fit your family. For my family, we work at the kitchen table or we work in the basement. And in the basement, I have most of my youngest child's toys in there. And so she is able to just spread out and do anything that she needs to do. It's also where we have our music room, which right now my older child is on drums. So we try to avoid as much time down there because as soon as it gets quiet, my youngest will get on the drums, which is not conducive to a great learning environment. In the last year, I've learned that even though my kids are 12, 10, and 4, they prefer to work in close companionship with me. So wherever mom is where all 3 of them want to be. And that's when I started working at the dining room table. And I have a picture of that, and it's all of them at the table with me. And they will all be close to me. And so as long as there's enough space for all 4 of us, we do pretty well. So then that next question is, how do we store our things? And in the pictures, there are a few different really neat storage ideas. And some people use bookcases from IKEA and put like a particle board on top of it. Downstairs, I have a computer desk that I use to like fruit crates. And I nailed 2 fruit crates together, and I used the bottom portion of my daughter's old crib, and I made a desk because we needed a desk, and that is how I made it. And there's a computer on it. And then I have another one that's a broken desktop, and I have it on a couple of milk crates, and that's a sitting desk. And so those are options. But I also went ahead and I used the boys, my 2 older boys, I used their old toy boxes, and there's a little shelf system downstairs, but they don't have those toys anymore, and I still had this toy box system. And so each child has their own color that they're able to use, and so one is blue, one's green, one's yellow, and all of their school materials go into that box. And we're able to take the box with us. So yesterday they came to work with me, and they each had their box, and they walked into my job, and they have all of their work in that box, including a pencil. And then at the end of the day, we clear everything off the table, they put it in their box, they take it to the basement, put it away, and school is gone, with the exception of the stuff on the wall. But that is my lasting art project, apparently, because it's not coming down. So that is how easy storage can be. And it doesn't have to be plastic containers. I'm one of those people that gets stuff from Amazon frequently. So I just take an Amazon box, and you can put your stuff in an Amazon box and put it in a closet, and it's gone. And so it can be as intricate or as simple as you need it to be for school to be in different locations in the house. So again, it's just what works for your family. So if you have ideas or creative ways that you have created a learning space for your child or children, please take pictures and share so we can inspire each other and continue the conversation going.
Great. As Joe said, I'm Rebecca Berry, and I was a public school teacher for, I guess, 6 years, and now I've been a homeschool teacher for a lot of years, 11 years. So we just thought we had some experience to share and wanted to help other people. So I'm going to talk about setting up your schedule. So I'm going to share my screen just a second there.
And as you're going to see, homeschooling for each family is very dependent on the personality of the family. So as my family, we're kind of everywhere. And you'll see with Rebecca's family, she's organized. And you work on how you want your family to be.
Right. That's one of the tips for scheduling. So yes. That's right. All right. So the first thing, especially, so I know a lot of you are doing school at home with online programs or virtual CPS, but for the people who are really homeschooling, who are setting their own curriculum, it's not going to look like a public school or a private school. And probably the families that are still doing public and private school at home, you're not going to look like it did when your kid was at school all day long. Here's some reasons why. It takes you less time to switch to a new subject when it's one kid putting away a book and taking out a book and not 30 kids. It takes less time for you to answer questions. You just have one kid and their questions, and hopefully you've answered questions all the way along. You don't wait till the very end and then you're like, oh, you didn't understand any of that, I have to reteach it. It takes less time to do your administrative activities. You don't have to take attendance. You don't have to send in a lunch count. It takes less time to move from one class to another. Basically, it's going to take a lot less time.
Yes. All the transitions.
Yeah.
They're not there. Yeah.
The next tip is I suggest that you create a routine and not a schedule. I know that there are some homeschool families that have made a minute-by-minute schedule of their day, and that just doesn't work for most people. So if you just create a list of, I want my kids to be up at this time. So for example, you want them to wake up at 8 a.m., eat breakfast, and brush their teeth. The kids know that's a non-negotiable time, and those things need to be done. Then when they're done with that, maybe you're going to read aloud and do a math lesson, but you don't have it scheduled. The read aloud is going to take 15 minutes and the math lesson is going to take 20 minutes. You just know this is the order our day is going to go. Mm-hmm. This has especially helped my kids who have a hard time learning, because they know every day I'm going to wake up, I'm going to eat my breakfast. After breakfast, we're going to read aloud and do a math lesson. There's no question about what's going to happen or what order it's going to happen in. So there's nowhere for them to pitch a fit, basically. Yeah.
There's no weeble wobble time.
Right. So then maybe you're going to have a break, play outside, then do a couple more subjects and have lunch. So this is just a general idea of how your day is going to go. The kids aren't surprised. You know what's going to happen, and you know that it is going to happen. Another thing, if you don't have a general idea, maybe everything doesn't happen. I just talked to one of my friends on the phone where she had to do her child's Algebra 1 curriculum all summer long because it had just gotten pushed out of the schedule so many times last year that it took a really long time, and it shouldn't have. My next tip is that what we do is we break our workload into chunks. So we start by doing 2 or 3 subjects after breakfast, then the kids get to have free play time. This is also something that I started doing with my kid that has the most trouble sitting, he struggles with me the most when I'm telling him what to do. So now he gets to pick which 2 or 3 subjects he wants to do first, and then he knows that he's going to get to play as soon as he gets done.
Mm-hmm.
Another tip is you don't have to cover every subject every day. So for instance, your child's language arts classroom was covering probably 5 subjects: handwriting, spelling, reading, grammar, and writing. They were not covering all 5 of those subjects every day of the week when your child was at public school or private school. So basically what I do is I figure out, what do I want to finish this entire year? And then I divide it by how many weeks I want to do school and how much I want to do every day. So at our house, my 6th grader is doing writing and grammar 3 days a week. And my younger kids are doing it 4 days a week, but they're doing less each day. They're doing a smaller chunk of work. The next thing that you should think about is, which subjects does your kid have the hardest time with? And those things you need to put in the spots that are going to be the best, the most conducive to learning. So here's some times. You need a time when either one parent or an older sibling can give full attention to the child. You need to choose a time when the child is ready to learn. Some kids, my kids are generally ready first thing in the morning. So for a long time, we had the rule, we do math first thing after breakfast, because that's what we were struggling with. Other kids, maybe mid-afternoon, they're really waking up, they're really grooving, they're ready to learn. The other thing you need to think about is, when are the younger siblings going to be busy? So you might want to schedule this during a nap time or a time when those younger siblings aren't going to be playing the drums.
Yes.
We have violin at my house. Violin has to be played in a different part of the house if the other kids are working on something difficult.
Yes.
Another idea is to schedule it when both parents are home. So one parent can handle the siblings and one parent can handle the lesson.
Yes.
So you just have to figure out how can we make this work, but realize the difficult subjects are going to need some special care.
Absolutely. And then that last part, that does mean that school does not have to be in the morning. That, like, right now we do have that choice of schedule. And so there are definitely some things that I do in the morning, and then the afternoons are pretty free. And then at night, then we can come back to other things when dad is home. And so that we have a bit more balance. And that is definitely a help with being able to manage everybody and make sure everybody gets the attention that they need for specific subjects.
All right. The next thing that I found is that there are some times of day where either the kids are fussy or I'm fussy.
Yes.
So those times of day, I try to schedule specific things. So when my kids were really little, so just notice, like, you'll figure it out. Every day at 10:30, my kids are having a fist fight. It won't be unclear. So when I had little kids, the middle of the morning when they didn't take the morning nap was really hard for us. So we would leave the house. So back then we would do stuff, but so I tried to think of, what could you even do now? You could go do your online grocery pickup. You could go pick up books on hold for the library. You could go for a walk around the neighborhood. For us, when they were little, we just needed to leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're bigger, the last couple years, the time for us has been right after lunch. They're pretty much done with school, but I don't want them having screen time yet. They just need to find something to do. So right after lunch, they would go to their rooms for 30 minutes and just read a book. And sometimes I would choose a book. Some, for the littler ones, they got to choose their own. They just had to basically be out of my space for 30 minutes. And then another time is right before supper.
Mm-hmm.
So the mid-afternoon to supper prep time, that's when I let my kids have screen time, because that's when I need to be doing other things, when I've spent the whole day with them already and I need a break or have things that I need to do.
Yes. And those are the times that I schedule the independent subjects. So I do a second language. My kids do a second language, and that is when they do their second language. That is when they do coding. That's when they do music practice, which is currently happening now. But those are the subjects that they don't need me for. So there is no, hey mom, because you don't need me during these subjects. And that's a good 40 minutes of you don't need me time. And I like those times. Those are good times.
You need those times.
Yes. Something to think about for our families that are doing the distance learning. if you are finding that those are going to be times when you are not home, also good things to schedule in is times where you know that your child does need a break, and that you can check in and be like, okay, hey, are you taking a break? What have you been able to accomplish? What do you need my help with when you get home? And help them to be able to separate out what they can and can't do without you present. And that'll help to eliminate a lot of that frustration also in scheduling. Of instead of them doing nothing, it can be paired into this part of the morning where I'm not home, there's things that you can do. And then when I am home, these are the things that you can't do without me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Are we going to talk more about that another time?
Yes.
Or no? Okay.
We'll get more into that another day.
Okay.
Yes.
The next thing is to think about how you can get your kids moving. You don't just want them sitting all day. Studies show that movement helps blood flow to the brain. It positively affects their brain development, their physical health, and their mental well-being. That might look like doing jumping jacks next to the computer during a Zoom call. It might look like doing a neighborhood scavenger hunt every Tuesday morning. It might look like wheelbarrow races with their siblings around the house, or I read online there's some free kid workouts that you can watch that are like 10 or 15 minutes long. Maybe everybody does that on Saturdays or on Tuesdays or whenever.
Yes.
There's lots of options, but don't forget this. It's important.
So look for HIT, high intensity interval training, and they have kids HIT. And it is literally 5 minutes, but they are up and they are working and they're sweating. And if you do it with them, you'll be sweating too. Woo! Yes, HIT is a great way just to take a little brain break.
All right, plan your day with your littlest learners in mind. So some of you don't have littles, some of you do. So it will take, this shouldn't be here. Anyway, involve them in any activity you can. Change locations throughout the day. You heard Joe say that they do part of their work in the kitchen and they do part in the basement. And that's the same thing we did when my kids were little, because it changes the environment for the ones who aren't learning. And then they have a whole new set of toys to play with. Give the little ones one-on-one time when the older ones are completing their easier tasks, and plan activities that take more concentration when they're napping or busy, which we already talked about.
Yes.
All right, if you have things that you absolutely have to get done, it's helpful to put them with something that's already getting done. So maybe you want your kids to read the Bible right after they wake up. They're going to wake up every day. So maybe they wake up and they grab their Bible every day. This is just an example, no pressure. I just try to think, what are really priority things? Maybe read alouds are really important to you, so you're going to do them right after lunch. Those things, if you pick what are the 3 most important things we're going to do today, if you hook them with a meal or something that's already happening every day, it will help make sure that those things get done.
Yes.
All right, this is what Jo was talking about at the end of her talk, how every family is different. Maybe your family wakes up late, so maybe you're going to start school at 10 in the morning instead of 8. Maybe you're going to start at noon. Hold on just a sec. I have a question.
Yes. So my family, we do start at 9. And it's a push to start at 9. But we start at 9. And before that point in time, everybody has already done 30 minutes of reading. That is my hook. As soon as you wake up, that's what you do. Before you touch anything else, you have 30 minutes of book time. And so, but yeah, then everything else gets started at 9, because that gives me a chance to have a little bit of time to wake up myself and get everybody else dressed and ready. And then, okay, all right, we can sit down now. Yes.
Yeah. Another possibility is maybe the parents at your house work Wednesday to Sundays. You can plan school on Wednesday to Sunday, or you could plan school on the days that you aren't working. If you aren't doing an online schedule where you have to be at the computer at certain times, you can plan this according to your family's needs. Okay, have a plan for meals and snacks. So for meals, it's a good idea to try to figure out a weekly schedule of meals and get a big grocery shopping run done once a week. So that, because if you're schooling, you aren't going to be able to just run out and get ingredients that you forgot in the middle of the afternoon every day.
Yes.
for snacks, we've heard a lot of feedback that kids are eating all day long now that they're home. So studies are showing that healthy snacks are good every couple hours, but it's good also to have a daily schedule so your kids know what to expect. Maybe you eat breakfast at 8 and then the kids know when the clock says 10, I can go get myself a healthy snack. You eat lunch at noon, they have a snack. It's just good to help them have expectations. I also read a quote from a 5-year-old that said, how do I know what being bored and being hungry feel like? They feel the same to me. So a lot of times, especially since kids are home all the time, they might be bored and they might be eating. If you have a schedule that you know is going to give them just what they need, you can help them develop life habits later.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Another tip is keep healthy snacks in a basket where they can reach them, and give each child their own cup or water bottle to encourage hydration.
Yes.
You have to remember you are setting the tone for your family.
Yes.
So sorry, but if you're eating because you're bored, your kids are going to be watching you eat because you're bored. So it may help everybody to figure out a schedule that works for your family. I'm just saying what the research shows. Ours is not every 2 hours. Ours isn't even close to the one that I suggested. I'm just telling you what the research shows, and you find one that's good for you guys.
Yes. Yeah, I keep food at a level that the 4-year-old could reach. The list of food that I want her to be able to access. And then the same thing for water bottles. Every person has a water bottle that is specifically theirs. Naomi is an equal opportunity drinker, so she'll drink from everybody's water bottle, but everybody has one, and that really keeps our cup situation down to they can only use the water bottles. There is no water in cups. That is a no-no in my house because there will be cups all over the place.
Right.
And so that's a big one. And then snacks, if they are at her level, she can eat it. So that stops the mom, I'm hungry every 10 minutes. I do go through bags of bread, but it does stop the I'm hungry all of the time because she knows where it is and she knows what she can get.
Yep.
Yes.
That's good. All right. Be consistent but flexible. I've been emailing veteran homeschool moms, and almost all of them, for saying what they wish they knew or what they wish they had done, they're saying, I wish I had been more flexible. So you do need to hit the subjects. You do need to teach the stuff. But because you're at home, you have so much more flexibility now to let your kid be a person and not just have to fit in with the 29 other little people that have to get something done. So just something to remember, your child's emotional well-being is much more important than any formal educational activity. So
Yes.
For example, today, I reduced my daughter's handwriting assignment and my son's math assignment because they just couldn't do it today.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't do that the rest of this week. And even some days, maybe we're going to just say, okay, we're not even doing school today if we're at that place. But I want to hear my kids and respect them more than I'm being a drill sergeant or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
A drill sergeant.
Yeah, I can tell when one of my special needs son is going through anxiety. Right, today we are off schedule. We stay on schedule most days, but today we're off schedule, and it's off schedule by probably about an hour. And because of that, his mind is like, we're going to be late for everything. Okay, how about you go take a break, and we're going to come back to it when we're able to process exactly what our times are doing. And that's okay to do. We're going to get to the work. We're going to finish it probably by May. And it's going to be okay if today wasn't the day that it was done.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I covered both the things that I was going to cover and the first thing that I covered. So we can say one more thing that will help you out. And we're just going to give you a teaser and we'll talk more about it later. And that is chores. Chores are amazing during homeschooling and schooling at home times because our children are amazing, at least mine are, at destroying rooms. And so therefore they should be amazing at resetting the room that they have destroyed. And so each of them has a room or an area of the house that they are responsible for, including the 4-year-old. She has a hand vac, and she is responsible for vacuuming those stairs. And that does give her credit for learning. We can call that home ec. We can call it executive functioning skills. We can call it anything we want, but they are a part of the household, and that means they are a part of helping keep everything together, because mom cannot do it all. All right, we got this. We can do this, friends. Go ahead.
Is there anything else? Is there a way to ask questions that people want to see covered on a video?
Yes, I will post, or somebody will post an email address that you can send questions to, and then we can answer those on following videos. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I think we did great. It was good seeing you guys, even though I can't actually see you. So have a good one. Okay. Bye.